Mark 11:22 through 24 says this. And Jesus was saying to them, have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever, this is so powerful, whoever, this, when you meditate on this, you start thinking, who's a whoever? Well, I'm definitely a whoever. There's no exclusion. This is an inclusion. There is exclusion. If you don't do this, you're out. You know, how do you get on the in crowd with Jesus? You get in. You become a whosoever. This man, when the devil says, well, you're not going to make it because of your past. You're not going to make it because you screwed up. You're not going to make it because you went through divorce. You're not going to make it because, you don't have the will. And you go, you're a liar. It says, whoever says to this mountain, be thou taken up and cast in the sea, and does not doubt in his heart. Here's a big point. It's not talking about your head, it's talking about your heart. How does your heart work? The heart works off of the words of the truth. If you have not been spending time in the Word, you will have doubt. If you've been spending more time thinking about the negative stuff, and right now you may not, you try to limit your control of listening to negative reports and everything, but also you gotta shut yourself up. You listen to yourself more than anybody else. You got to shut your self-talk down. What you just sit there and think about while you're driving down the road. It's do the 15-minute devotion. Shut the TV off if you have to. But the real crucial point is, what do you think about when you're just sitting around doing nothing else? You got to shut those videos down. You got to shut those thoughts down that are negative and doubtful and everything else. And that's where it's not, you were saying, but I believe. But a lot of times you're talking about what you're thinking in your head. The heart is not your head. What does that mean? It means it's not logical. It's not that way. It's like putting fuel in your car. That heart needs its own fuel. What is its fuel? Truth. How does it work? You got to meditate on it. Think on these things day and night. Think on go to Philippians and say, think on these things. Think on these things. Think on these things. And in those things, there's no negative. There's no fear. It's good, peaceful, good. And in this world where there's so much hitting us on the negative side, it's a lot of work. But it really pays off. So it goes on to say, therefore, or it does not doubt in his heart, but believes. This is where religion just knocks this verse out. Any form of religion will just take the power right out of this verse. Somehow we twist this thing. We don't take his words straight here. He just said, whoever says something and doesn't doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says is going to happen, it will be granted. I'm telling you, that's so anti-religion, it's been powerful. What's a religion? Man seeking God. What is the truth? It's the Spirit of God coming into man, saving him. It's so easy to say, we'll pray about that. Instead of saying, I'll speak to that. It's weird. Brody got his tetanus shots, I guess, and he was walking around one day, and both arms were hanging down, and I saw a bruise, and I said, what happened? He said, I got my shots. And I said, they hurt? Yeah, they hurt. And I said, well, you get over it. Next day, he goes, Papa, my arms hurt. And I said, Brody, speak to those arms and tell them to be healed. And he was in my garage, and he goes, be healed. I tell you, simplicity works. A lot of times it's like, well, I'm too embarrassed of that. When somebody says something, a lot of times sometimes somebody's preaching and I'm in the crowd and they'll say, you need to say this. I'll say it. Sometimes I'll say it under my breath. Sometimes I'll say it loud enough for everybody to hear, but I'm amazed how, I'm embarrassed to do that. You can't win if you're going to be embarrassed. If you're going to worry about what people think, to the point, I won't go into that, it's a different sermon, but dear God, peer pressure does not end in high school. You know how much we fail because we're worried about what people think of us. And sometimes you ever see me do something weird, shout in a weird place, dance in a weird place, because my flesh is bucking me and I'm getting sick of it, and I'll blurt out something. God help the rest of the people to forgive me or whatever. But it's like, it's my victory. But anyway, Brody impressed me. He just said, be healed. And I just thought, cool. Hope you do. And I kind of didn't say nothing. And it wasn't more than 30 seconds later, Brody says, Papa, my arms don't hurt. And it's like, Dang, it worked. Man, I just thought, man, John, you need a... It was encouragement to me. Probably where some of this message came. Therefore, I say to you, all things that you got to believe in what you say. This is big. I won't go on. You got to believe what you say. Therefore, I say to you, all things in which you pray and believe that you have received them and they will be granted to you. Boom, right there. Guess what? I have received a jet.